Michigan. This is Grand Tap Media Business TV. My name is Pamela Keim, your host, and the spirit of the show is to introduce West Michigan to all the businesses, nonprofits, and people that can help us thrive. I have a very special guest for you today. Maybe some of us have experienced being home for the last few months, of disrupting our schedule, maybe not working out as much as we would like to, being in front of our computers so much. So I am going to introduce a very special friend of mine, Kathy Bartnick, who owns Shape Your Life Studios, and she's going to help us today, give us some tips on how to stay healthy in this virtual world, which we all been thrust in the last few months. So I want to welcome Kathy Bartnick to the show.
Thanks for having me.
That's right. Now, all right, so let's talk about, you are the owner of Shape Your Life Studios, which is not too far from WKTV right here in the city of Wyoming.
10 minutes away.
10 minutes away. And a bit why you started Shape Your Life Studios and what inspired you to become an entrepreneur, because I think that probably will be surprised. Not everybody loses 50 pounds and starts a studio up, right?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah, so it was a crazy personal journey for me. It's been actually 10 years. So we were celebrating our 10-year anniversary at the studio when we closed down, which is kind of interesting. So we made it 10 years, and it's been a great journey. But what inspired the business, I went on vacation with my husband and my stepson, and he had this parrot on his shoulder in Mexico, and I was in the picture. And he wanted to blow it up really big and put it on the wall. I was so embarrassed how big and fat I thought I looked. I'm like, no, I was so mean to him. Like, no, we're not doing that. And at that moment, I just turned my weight loss problem into my stepson's problem.
Right.
And was actually a little bit mean to him about it. So I decided, you got to get your crap together, right? So I joined Curves, which is a wonderful place, love it. But I worked out for 2 or 3 months and nothing changed. And I'm like, and I said to the ladies, what am I doing wrong? I'm exercising every day for 30 minutes a day. I'm working really hard. I'm sweating. I never exercised in my life. And I was liking it, but nothing changed. So the lady says to me, well, how's your food? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? She's like, well, did you change how you eat? And I'm like, what's that got to do with anything? Looking back, I was so legitimately ignorant. And I don't mean that like in a,
yeah, right. I understand.
Like,
you don't understand how this...
I'm not beating myself up. I was so ignorant to how food works, how nutrition works. So I went through a program with her, which I've written my own program now. But I went through a program. It was 6 weeks. It was journaling how what you're going through, like what you're thinking, which is exactly what my program does as well. And then they showed me exactly how to eat. Here's what you eat, and if you do this, you're going to lose weight. And I'm like, nah, that's crazy. That's just crazy. So my first week, I go to the grocery store, and I'm like, what is all this stuff I have to buy? What are these vegetables? How do I read a food label? So I always joke with people, my diet before I lost weight, this is how I ate: Snickers and a Coke for breakfast.
Wow.
Always. Oh, I was busy. I was a professional. I was busy. I was on the run, and then all for that. So fast food, and then of course for dinner to be like, oh, I'm not, I don't care what we eat. Grab a pizza, grab something simple. Never thinking about the balance of the food and the nutrition side of things. So when I did that first week, and I read the food labels, and I went back to my Snickers bar example that I always share. So a third of the Snickers bar is what I thought the whole bar was. So it says, here's the calories in this bar.
I think that too when I look at that. Yeah. Well, I always thought a candy bar, why have it in a serving? You're going to eat, they assume you're going to eat the whole thing.
Right, but they trick you. So it says serving size when it's 4. So you have to times that, so it's like 500 calories for a Snickers bar, depending on the size that you get. You can get a yogurt. It's either 120 calories or it could be 60 calories. And so I didn't know to look at that. Like, it seems so simple now. And I think, how could I not know that? But I didn't know how to read a food label. So educating myself made a huge difference. So everything I bought was like, oh my gosh, read the label. What's the serving size? What's the sugar content? What's the carbs in it? What's the protein in it? And don't be fooled by this fat-free stuff or low-calorie stuff. Oh, it's fat-free, it's fine. Well, what was the sugar in it? How many calories did you have? And did it fit in with the balance of your day? So I learned the carbs, the protein, and the fat, and I did this program. I lost 9 pounds my first week. I almost fell off the chair. I couldn't. And
Could you imagine getting on the scale and losing 9 pounds and you'd be like so excited?
Yeah, and when you think like the Biggest Loser, you can't lose that much weight, and there's bad things that happen from that show, and overdoing things, and there's a lot of bad things. But 9 pounds the first week for someone my size at that time, it was mostly water weight, and I went from probably 5,000 calories a day down to 1,200. Whoa, that's a huge impact.
Right.
But then it slows down. After that first week, you have a great first week, then I lost 1 to 2 pounds every week after that. And once you have a great first week, you are so motivated to keep it going.
Right.
And I was learning and just so overwhelmed and encouraged to keep doing it because it was working. So then I ended up losing 23 pounds in 6 weeks. Changed my life. Literally changed my life. I'm like, I'm going to share this with others. I love working out. I started to work out at my church here in town. I started working out at different places, and then I decided I'm going to get certified. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get certified. Got certified in kickboxing, then I got certified to be a personal trainer, and then I'm like, I have to start my own, well, I shouldn't say I'm going to start my own business. I shouldn't say that. That didn't happen until later. I decided I want to share this with friends. I had 4 friends come to my basement, and they thought they should pay me, so they paid me a couple bucks. It was nothing. And so we had my first group training. And then from there, they told people, and then from there, they told people. So now, a year later, I have lost over, about 50 pounds, and I now have, 20 women in my basement working out. Which, I mean, it's amazing. And I don't think, I still have my full-time job. I'm thinking, this is a great sidekick, and I'm making a little bit extra money, and I'm helping women. My husband, he decides he wasn't working out with me, and he wasn't eating good. I'd make my own meal, and so don't be discouraged if your husband or family doesn't come along. I did my thing. Yeah. I'm like, I'll make you potatoes. I'm not having any. So I made his food, and I made my food, and then all of a sudden he says, he could tell I was going in this healthy direction. He said, I'm going to quit smoking. And I heard about these spin bikes, and we're going to go to Chicago, and we're going to go to this spin. It's like a certification conference thing. And I'm like, well, okay. I was so impressed.
Right.
So we go to this conference, we buy 3 spin bikes, we put them in our living room, and now he's doing a spin class for my women downstairs. So now we have 8 spin bikes in our living room. We have no furniture in our living room. And all downstairs is all equipment, and now he's got, every night there's classes upstairs, and every night I got classes downstairs. It was amazing. And then I got turned in by my neighbor for having a business. Because of the cars. They probably thought, ooh, what's going on there? Probably some drug house. It wasn't. So they turned me in, which thank God they did. I had 60 days to stop my business from my home, or I was going to get in trouble. So I opened Shape Your Life Studios right around the corner from my house. And here we are 10 years later. It's been the most amazing journey that I just can't tell you. When you feel good about yourself, you have confidence in yourself,
Right.
Look what can happen. I changed my whole life.
I've met, we both know a lot of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And yours being Shape Your Life Studios, I realized when COVID hit how that was going to affect you, because I've been at your studio and been to your spin classes, and I'm going, how is this going to work? All right. So how did you pivot?
Pivoting was tough.
Okay.
I'll be honest.
Because you had to.
I had to, and I had personal issues. My mom had COVID. I was in the hospital for 71 days, but she made it. She's home. She's recovering.
Oh, thank you.
But
Thank God,
that slowed my response down a little bit, and I feel like I would have done better sooner had I not had that emotional part of it. But my team at the studio helped. We had exercises at least 3 times a week online on Facebook. We did live Facebook workouts. We did Zoom workouts. We recorded workouts. We have them on the website. And we were reaching out to all of our customers saying, don't worry, hang in there, make sure you join us. And we did it all for free. We froze everyone's membership March 16 and said all this online stuff for right now till we figure out what's going on in this world is free. And it was amazing. The response was amazing, and people responded. Some people were like, it's a little weird and I feel awkward. I'm like, you can turn your camera off and we don't see you. And
Right.
that's okay. People don't get that. It's like, we don't have to see you. Now, I'd like to see you to make sure you're doing it. Yes, that's a joke. Like, we want accountability, right?
Right.
So we pivoted and did that at first. And then, starting in June, it was like, we have to do more, and we need to get more involved in things, and I need to save my studio, make some money.
Right.
So I had to be like, okay, guys, I hope everyone understands everything now that Zoom, we're going to charge our regular fees for, and we're going to go forward. And then we also have a program called the Fitness Quest.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned that to me. Yes.
The Fitness Quest, it is only $65. It's 8-week program, and I based it off what I learned from my friends at Curves. It is a program where you're going to journal your feelings. You're going to answer a question about what you're going on with emotions, with how your day is going. You're going to have a food challenge, like try a new vegetable this week.
Right.
The next one might be no sugar, no alcohol, no bread.
I know.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
So-
most of us have been living on that for the last since March, right?
So we're gonna give challenges.
Oh, no.
And so they build, and each week builds, and then you're gonna get workout challenges. You're gonna get exercise challenges. You're gonna get that journal question. You're gonna get a food. So in order to move on, though, you have to pass week 1 in order to move on to week 2. Some people stay in week 1 for weeks, and that's okay because everyone's at a different level. You have to be emotionally, physically, spiritually ready to lose weight. I tell, for the last 10 years, when someone starts with me, I'll say, what are your goals? What do you want to do? And that's what we'll do with the fitness quest. What are your goals? Well, I want to lose weight. Well, I know that. But tell me what have you done so far, and how's that been going, and what have you I'll hear all about these fast ways to lose weight, all these fad diets.
But don't we want to go that way?
We do. Everybody does, and that's why I want them to talk about what they've done, and
Yeah.
then we're gonna say, well, guess what? That really hasn't worked, and I'm gonna tell you, and I'm very adamant about this. I don't sell supplements. I don't sell a diet pill. I don't do any of that. I'm not going to do the keto. I'm not going to do all this crazy stuff. What I recommend and what worked for me is the basics. Let's exercise, and anyone can exercise, no matter who you are, no matter your limitations. We can help you. We can modify. You can exercise out of your chair. You can do push-ups on the wall or on the floor or on your knees. Everything can be modified, right? So it's so important that people see what didn't work before and know that whatever you decide to do now, the basics is to exercise in moderation. And I'm not talking go crazy and go do a boot camp or go run 10 miles. In moderation, what's reasonable, and then learn to eat healthy. You
Right.
don't have to do high carb or no carb or be crazy. Fruits and vegetables and protein and low fat dairy. There's
Right.
your diet.
Yeah.
We complicate things in this world so much, but it takes discipline. It takes lots of discipline, and you have to want it and be ready. So you can start week 1 over. If you didn't do everything I asked of you, if you didn't do the exercises, or you didn't make it through the food challenge, or eat the food plan right if you cheated, we're going to start over again. And that's okay because you're not ready. I want you to be so ready before you go to the next week because it's going to be harder. And then the next week's going to be harder. So you want to build it up and get ready for it. So
Right.
we help once a week. We're going to be either Zoom, in person, online, on the phone, whatever you want. You have accountability once a week with someone that's going to help you through what to eat, how to exercise, and get that extra encouragement.
How important it is to be successful in a lifestyle change. Basically, it's a lifestyle change. Because what I find if
Yes.
people lose weight too quickly,
Yes.
they haven't endured the holidays. They haven't endured a stressful situation.
Right.
And so these challenges come up, or summer. Like you say you went all winter and you lost weight and all of a sudden you're barbecuing, whatever. Do people realize
Yes,
that it takes a long time
Yeah,
to
yeah.
change a lifestyle? Do the people?
Yes, and so that's what, when I say to people, if you're ready to do this, that's one thing. And then when you do it, that's another thing. But then people always say, I want to be done. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of dieting. I'm sick of doing this. And I have to step back and say to them, this now is a lifestyle change that you have to find your groove and how you're going to be happy in this situation. So lifestyle change is adamant unless you want to roller coaster and do it up and down, up and down. We're gonna diet, and then we're gonna splurge. We're gonna diet. If you want to be consistent, now that's not saying that you can't have good stuff. You have to learn discipline, and you have to learn what your body can take. So for me, pizza. Oh, let me tell you what.
Oh, I love pizza
So
too.
me too. I'm not going to give it up. However, the old me would have 3 or 4 or 5 pieces of pizza depending on the situation, right? Now I have one. I know what's going to be a trigger. Know your triggers. If there is ice cream in my house and I'm feeling weak, I tell you what, I'm going to eat it. So I have to make sure it's not there, especially when I know if I'm vulnerable. I know that if I let that trigger get me. So some people are saying you should be super strict on a diet and eat exactly what's on that paper. And that can work for people. But some people can handle having, let me have a chocolate kiss, just one, and then I'll feel better. Or having like a little mint, or having whatever.
When you go to a celebration and somebody has a birthday cake,
right?
And it could be
have a little piece. But if it's your trigger, and your emotions aren't ready for that, you have to be careful. So once you're done and you get your weight loss is done, and you feel like this is where I want to be, now you got to maintain. That's the hardest part.
Right.
You thought the diet was hard. Maintaining and finding your new balance is so important. You got to know your triggers.
Talk about people finding themselves in front of their computers all day, and their whole schedule has been disrupted because you owning a studio, people had a schedule. They came to your studio so many times a week to work out. Let's talk about what we can do to stay healthy now that we are in a virtual world.
It's very challenging in these times, since we're like you said, changing schedules, changing habits, changing mental attitudes, changing how we're thinking, fear. All these things have crept in, obviously, since March, since we've been going through this pandemic. So for me, the number one thing that has helped me stay connected with my people is we do Zoom a lot. I Zoom my friends, even just my friends. Hey, let's get connected and see each other. We see each other more now, of course, but even when you just need to stay connected and you don't feel comfortable, because some people are doing that,
right?
Reach out, either do a FaceTime, do Zoom, get in there and say, how are you doing? Encourage each other to get up and do some things.
Right.
The other thing is that a lot of my girls that come to the studio, what we're doing is we're having accountability partners. So you tell me every day when you finish your walk. You tell me every day if you got up and did your stretches. You call or text me and say, hey, I completed my water. So get an accountability partner, which you can do just with your friends, or you can do with someone at the studio, and just say, what are you doing today to be healthy? And let's set goals. So next week, let's make sure that every half hour you get up and stretch at your desk. Every time you have lunchtime, go outside and take a walk, or run up and down your stairs if you can't leave your headset. So there's all kinds of things that you can do right from your home. Get up off the couch, get up off your chair. Don't sit there all day long. Even if you have to have a headset on, you're working all the time. Get up and stretch. There's easy stretches to do, and just get up and make sure that you're moving and keeping your mind going, and always thinking about positive things, staying positive during all the stuff, moving, thinking positive. And then of course the food tip that I would say, it's so easy to get caught up in, let's do that feel good stuff. Let's have the sugar. Let's maybe have that drink at 5:05 every day.
Right.
And that can really consume you and get overwhelming, and then not be good for the body and good for stress in general. So step back and think, did I get my water in? Fruits and vegetables, healthy snacks. You have to have it in the house, or else you're not going to have it. We're in our houses all the time now. So keeping healthy stuff in your house and having moderation of that little bad stuff in the house is so important. But tips in general for right now, guys, stay positive. Reach out to a friend any way that you can. Make sure you're moving during the day. Get up and do jumping jacks. Run down your steps. Go outside and take a walk. Always get up and move and stretch, and keep your mind and your body moving so that you don't feel like you're just stuck in the house all the time.
Setting up some kind of plan, like you have, that going something of your situation like that, because I feel like if I have other people helping me, how important is that whole group? You have this whole support group for them.
That's what the studio is all about, and that's why the Fitness Quest is amazing for that. We actually have a Facebook group that whoever's ever bought the Quest is in a Facebook group. And it's private.
Right.
And like I just had somebody on the east side of the state just join, and she's starting on Monday, and she's so excited. And I said, I'm going to put you in this group. I said, feel free to ask questions and how people did with the Quest and how they feel about it. And then she's going to have that with me. And I even told her, I said, I'll probably just throw you on Zoom or FaceTime sometime just to meet some of the girls at the studio, so you can see the studio and see what we're doing. So that connection, if you do the Fitness Quest, no matter where you live, you're going to be connected with people. You're going to be
Yeah.
with the group. You're going to be with me talking. You're going to meet some of the girls at the studio. And I've got some of the girls ready to tell their story like really quick. Like, hey, I've been coming to the studio for, 5 years and I've lost, 20 pounds and I can't believe, the success stories that we have. So I've got people ready to share with the people on the quest their successes. So this community that we've built at the studio is amazing.
I really do think that's the success
amazing.
on
Yeah.
the group thing, and the group, like you said, that private, and then getting to know people and getting up in the morning and having this kind of back to creating a routine.
Routine and accountability.
And accountability.
It is amazing if you have to tell somebody what you ate. Everything. You have to write down what you eat and share.
And what
it.
you drank too.
Yeah, yeah, and alcohol or juice or pop or water, and water is the good part. Are we getting our water in? One of the challenges is, did you get your water in? A simple thing is that people don't do it. It is a huge, huge impact to get your water in.
Mm-hmm.
So accountability and community support is amazing that we offer.
Okay. I would say that's probably the one thing that you have to, I think too, sometimes I would, this is my own self, is I would go without eting all day so I could.
Oh,
I knew my favorite fruits were coming, like if you're going to have a pizza.
So glad you brought that up.
What about that?
Bad.
Yes. bad. You don't, you like eat like a squirrel the whole day, and all of a sudden dinner, I can splurge.
Right. So here's the thing though. So when you see my food plan, the way the food plan works is to boost your metabolism.
Right.
So, and especially as we get older, our metabolism slows. So when you don't eat all day, you just slowed your metabolism down. So guess what your body's going to do next time you eat one little thing? It's going to hold the fat. Your body's going to be like, she hasn't fed me all day, and I'm going to store this fat because I don't know when I'm going to get fed again. And then you're splurging on this big meal, so now your body's like, I'm keeping it all.
Right.
So now this great meal is just totally turned into fat, and you haven't saved anything, and now your metabolism is slowed, so your body hasn't let go of anything. So my food plan, every 2 hours you eat and you boost your metabolism. Small portions, 200 calories here, 90 calories here, 300 calories here. Small boosting of the metabolism. So just when you think you're hungry, you eat, and your body's like, I'm gonna let go of some fat.
That is so hard to believe, and I hear that over and over. We all know. Okay, let's be honest. We all know what to do to lose weight, right? You exercise, you eat a balanced meal, and you stay away from. Like I said, we have that whole mindset.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
It is.
Alrighty. Okay, Kathy, you have given us a lot of information, and I'm sure people are looking at you going, you know what? I need to start this. Coming this fall. It's a new season.
Yeah.
Let's start back and start getting our routines back and doing the best we can under this COVID situation.
Sure.
How can they reach you? Where do they go to get more information?
Sure. It's very simple. So shapeyourlifestudios.com.
Okay.
I always talk too fast. shapeyourlifestudios.com.
Okay.
So very simple. Jump on the website. The program's on there, or just call. I'd love to talk to you. We have to talk anyway.
Right.
So call me, text me to get it going. So it's 616-318-3503, and that is the best way. I'm really great at answering the phone. If I don't answer right away, I'll get right back to you. Text me your name and that you want to do the fitness quest, and I will call you right back, and we can get started as soon as possible. So yeah, that's the best way. Call me.
Yeah, I think that's great, and I think that we all need to get back on schedule.
Yeah.
Things are going to be returning back to normal. How that all looks, but I feel like this energy is starting to happen now that fall is coming. Okay, let's get rolling. Let's get back to our normal schedule. Start getting an exercise routine.
Yes.
And that's why I wanted to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
So success to your Shape Your Life Studios coming up for women, and your online program, and helping these women thrive in their lives when we find ourselves kind of, I guess, hibernating once again, right?
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for being here, Kathy.
Yep,
It's
thanks
been a
for having
pleasure.
me. Thanks
Check
for
out
having me.
Kathy's Shape Your Life Studios. Look it up online and call her. She already said her number, and she'll be happy to help you. My name is Pamela Keim from Grand Tap Business TV, and we will catch you next time. Take care, everyone. All right, how's that?